Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As the festive lights start twinkling in Gotham City and the scent of pine and gingerbread fills the air, we're all reminded that Christmas is a time for hope, miracles, and second chances. It's a season of warmth, family, and redemption. But what happens when that spirit of renewal touches one of DC's coldest hearts? Today, we're diving deep into the surprisingly heartwarming and chilling tale of the Cryonic Man and his unforgettable Christmas redemption. So, who is the Cryonic Man? For those who might not know, he's not one of Gotham's A-list rogues. You won't find him leading a breakout from Arkham or challenging Batman on a nightly basis. His story is more tragic, more personal. He's often depicted as a man consumed by a singular, desperate goal, usually involving cryogenics to save a loved one or himself. This obsession twisted him, isolating him in a world of ice and cold, both literally and figuratively. He became a villain not out of pure malice, but out of desperation and grief, a man frozen in a moment of pain. His powers, a mastery over cold and ice, are a perfect metaphor for his emotional state. He freezes everything he touches, mirroring how his own heart has been frozen by tragedy. He shuts people out, creating barriers of ice just as he creates emotional walls. He's the embodiment of emotional winter, a man lost in a blizzard of his own making, unable to feel the warmth of human connection. This is what makes his Christmas story so powerful. It's not just about a villain seeing the error of his ways. It's about a man who has forgotten what it feels like to be warm, finally starting to thaw. Our story begins on Christmas Eve in Gotham. Snow is falling gently, blanketing the city's Gothic architecture in a layer of pure white. It's a scene of serene beauty, a rare moment of peace. But for the Cryonic Man, it's just another cold night. He's holed up in his cryogenic lab, a place devoid of festive cheer, surrounded by humming machinery and the biting cold that has become his only companion. He's isolated, bitter, and sees the joy outside as a mockery of his own frozen existence. The carols sound like noise, the lights are just a garish display. This is where the magic of the Christmas theme comes into play. The story doesn't throw a generic hero at him. Instead, his path to redemption begins with small, seemingly insignificant encounters. Maybe it's a child who, instead of running away in fear, offers him a piece of gingerbread, seeing not a monster but just a very sad, cold man. Or perhaps it's an elderly couple who, stranded by a snowstorm he inadvertently caused, show him kindness instead of anger, offering him a place by their fire. These moments are the first cracks in his icy exterior. He's forced to confront the spirit of Christmas head-on. He sees families gathered together, sharing gifts and laughter. He witnesses acts of selfless generosity from ordinary people. For a man who has only known taking and desperation, this is a foreign concept. He sees people giving without expecting anything in return, simply for the joy of making someone else happy. This directly challenges his entire worldview, which has been built on a foundation of selfish, albeit tragic, motivation. He wanted to freeze the world to stop time and prevent loss, but here he sees people embracing the fleeting moments and finding joy in them. A key part of his redemption arc is facing his past. Often, the narrative will reintroduce the source of his original pain, perhaps a memory or a vision of the loved one he failed to save. But this time, it's framed differently. Instead of seeing it as a justification for his cold actions, he starts to see it as a betrayal of their memory. Would the person he loved want him to become this frozen shell of a man, spreading misery and cold? The Christmas setting, with its emphasis on love and remembrance, forces him to ask this difficult question. He realizes that his actions haven't honored their memory. They've only created more pain in the world. This leads to his pivotal moment of choice. Typically, an external threat arises. Maybe another, more malicious villain tries to ruin Christmas for Gotham, perhaps by attempting to freeze the entire city in a perversion of the Cryonic Man's own powers. Suddenly, he sees his own methods twisted into an instrument of pure evil, with no tragic backstory to justify it. He is looking into a mirror, and he doesn't like the reflection. Here, he has to decide. Does he remain isolated in his cold fortress, letting the city suffer a fate he knows all too well? Or does he step out of the shadows and use his powers not for selfish means, but for good? The spirit of giving and compassion he has witnessed inspires him. He remembers the child's small act of kindness, the couple's warmth. He understands that true strength isn't about freezing the world to protect yourself. It's about having the warmth to protect others. And so, the Cryonic Man fights back. His mastery of cold, once a weapon of despair, becomes an instrument of salvation. He uses his intricate knowledge of cryogenics not to cause harm, but to counteract the new threat, to protect the innocent. He's not fighting for personal gain or out of vengeance. For the first time, he's fighting. For others, for the spirit of Christmas he has just begun to understand. He fights to preserve the warmth and joy he now realizes he's been missing all along. The climax isn't just about a physical battle. It's an internal one. As he pushes his powers to the limit, he's not just fighting another villain. He's fighting the cold within himself. Every act of heroism is an act of defiance against his own past, a step toward thawing his frozen heart. When the dust settles and the threat is neutralized, he doesn't stand there as a triumphant hero. He's often depicted as simply standing in the snow, watching the families of Gotham return to their celebrations, feeling the warmth of their gratitude from a distance. The resolution of his arc is beautifully poignant. He doesn't suddenly become a superhero. Redemption is a journey, not a destination, but he has taken the most important step. He has found a flicker of warmth in the endless winter of his soul. The Christmas setting is so crucial because it provides the perfect catalyst for this change. It's a time when the impossible seems possible, when even the coldest heart can be touched by a little bit of light and warmth. The tale of the Cryonic Man's Christmas redemption is a powerful reminder of what the holiday is all about. It's about looking past the frosty exterior to see the person underneath. It's about the incredible power of compassion and generosity to melt even the most frozen of hearts. It teaches us that no one is beyond hope, and that the spirit of Christmas can bring about the most unexpected miracles, even for a forgotten villain in Gotham City. It's a story of a second chance, proving that even after the longest, coldest winter, spring and warmth can eventually return. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think of the Cryonic Man's story? Let me know your favorite DC redemption arcs in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you next time.